There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm in the right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Man, I was in the wrong link, man. See how YouTube do me, man? Y'all already know what time it is, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all already know what's good, y'all. What's good, y'all. What's good, y'all. What's great. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. I don't know what was going on with the other link, but it took me to a complete different link. Other people was over there. I told them, tear down that link so that way I could get into the original link. So thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. It means the world to me, as y'all know. And I appreciate y'all showing up, showing out, showing that major, major love for your boy. I appreciate it so much, man. Let's get the show started. Shout out to the chat. The chat is in the building, showing major, major, major love. And like I said, I appreciate that immensely. This is episode 201. 201. Not a lot of podcasts can say they got 201 episodes. So what a blessing. Shout out to Grace for tapping in. We got Compton in the building, man. Shout out, man. Man, that's major, major love, Grace. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you hit them likes, hit the 100s, hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, this is our 201 episode that we've done. And again, thank y'all for the major support. And again, without y'all, I'm telling you, need y'all to make the show even more successful and popping, because with y'all energy, it just makes it even greater. I got a super duper passion for podcasting. And again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to the people in the chat, man. Shout out to the chat. Heavy in the building. We got badge holders. We got day ones. And we got some new people in the chat. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Shea Butter in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Tapping in. Shout out to Culture in the building. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. You're Brooklyn all day. Love that. Shout out to Winter. Oh, I said Winter already. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to King P in the building. Episode 201. Great accomplishment. Thank you, King P. Shout out again to Grace from Compton. Shout out to Change. Shout out to who's that? Shout out to R Handy in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Broke. Okay. Shout out to you, weirdo. Shout out to Martin in the building. Shout out to 491. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate pictures of yourself. Actually, this is the show picture. You do have a podcast picture of the logo of your show. And yes, these are the people that's most important to me, which is my older brother that passed away, and my mom and my dad that also passed away. So excuse me if I choose to surround myself of love outside of the podcast picture. So make it make sense, right? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Show love or show out. You know what I'm saying? Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, appreciate you for tapping in. Again, if this is your first time watching, this is Can the Brothers Get a Right podcast, and I am Ashley Lovechild. Thank y'all for the love. Shout out to KO Nightmare. It makes sense. You feel me, KO? Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Step up or step aside. You already know. I love that, man. I'm loving the energy so far, man. Because, here we talk about everything. We talk about sports. We talk about entertainment. We talk about social commentary. We talking about everything that goes on in everyday world and everyday life, also on social media, internet, how it affects the culture, and how can the culture affect the rest of the world, because we dictate the rest of the world. And it's about time we know our power and learn how to use it and organize it, mobilize it, and do how we do. So we're going, like I said, we're going to go through everything. And if it's your first time watching, we have different topics that we will cover, but we also have different subject lines that we cover throughout the show. But most importantly, we have a good time, whether we agree to disagree, as long as you are basing your information in logic, not faith, not, I don't want to say faith, but not feeling based answers. Did somebody be loud and wrong instead of giving logical answers? You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with having passion in what you're saying, but have it surrounded with some damn logic. So again, I want to thank y'all if this is your first time tapping in. A shout out to the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, shout out to everybody that pulled up on the special episode 200. That was major. I'm still waiting on 2 people to send me their information so they could get those giveaways that I was giving away for episode 200. Also, there's merchandise within the pod in links to the bio. If you use promo code BrothersPod, again BrothersPod, you'll get 10% off on all merchandise in the store on 44.com in our store. So make sure y'all take advantage, tune, and tap in. Also, we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. There's memberships in the page. Take advantage of the memberships. You get different access granted when you go explore your options in the memberships. And shout out to those who've been gifting memberships too, man. So again, major love on that as well. Thank you. All right, y'all, no further ado, let's get straight to the show. Y'all already know, first segment of the night, popular opinions. And remember, y'all, I say this each and every episode, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right, y'all. This segment is Popular Opinions. It's brought to you by OUV Records, where you get, if you go to OUV Records at OUV Records on Instagram, you can stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. As you see right there, if you get enough merchandise, you get one of these fire boxes with it. And the label motto is create, document, and inspire. First popular opinion question of the night. Biggest red flag while dating. Biggest red flag while dating. Number 1, unemployment. Number 2, living at home. Number 3, non-traditional best friends. Number 4, slow text replies. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Kashmir. Nobody, you crazy. We get, don't come in here with that weirdo energy, because I get people that support all the time. So by you trying to display that type of negativity, bruh, I can't imagine what your real life is like, my dude. So only people try to stand out by being negative, by being stains. Don't be a stain, my brother. Shine by shining positivity, love, and light, bro. Come on, cut it out. But again, the question is, biggest red flag while dating. Biggest red flag while dating. Number 1, unemployment. Number 2, living at home. Number 3, non-traditional best friends. And number 4, slow text replies. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. For me, out of all these right here, me personally, I can't get jiggy with any woman that I deal with that's unemployed. Me personally, you have to be able to do for yourself. That's just me personally. And then and more so the fact that I grew up watching my mother work. My dad worked, my mother worked, and to me, watching my mom in her business suits, and I grew up in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? So she had to take the cab and the train to work, and see her in her suits and her running sneakers. And then when she gets her job, she put on, her shoes, for business attire. I just thought that was just such like a flex when my pops, had my mom Dukes, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, look at my wife, like she in her business attire. And I just thought it was a flex for me as her son. Like, yo, look at my mom, she about her business, you know what I'm saying? So me, I can't deal with no woman that's unemployed, me personally. Oh, shout out to my cousin Leaf in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. We just went over episode 200, so bro, hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit that 200 in the chat, man. We just went over 200 episodes. Morning, you sniper stuff. Shout out to Neo in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. I see the pictures in the background taking me back. You already know, man. You know how we do, man. I need that love around me. It's like a force field love in here. You know what I'm saying? I could take on the world as long as I got my love with me, So, but let me know what y'all think in the chat, man. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Ebony. She said all of them. She said all of them is a red flag as far as all those options in the chat. Slow replies is a flag for me. Okay. Again, all of these are major red flags, even non-traditional best friends. And what I think of non-traditional best friends, if you are pursuing a woman and she has a dude best friend, I don't care if the dude is on the back door activity side of the game. That's not a relationship I'm comfortable with. I've never made a woman my girl for real if she got a dude best friend. I know what it's like to be the bestie. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your girl to have a bestie, bro. So I'm just telling you from experience. You don't want that. You don't want that, because you shaking bruh hand, and meanwhile he doing something with her with his hand. I get where I'm going with this. So, non-traditional best friends, I don't get jiggy with it, me personally. Living at home, I can deal with a woman that's living at home. That's just me personally. I could deal with that, because we're not gonna be at her house anyway. I got my own, so it don't matter. Slow text replies just let me know you ain't really messing with me for real, like at all. If you slow text reply me, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody that busy in the world. You know what I'm saying? We make time for what's important. And sometimes we can't make time, but we make a little time to let the person know that, yo, I'm still engaged and invested. So again, me personally, I still went with unemployed. But in the chat, I'm seeing mixed answers. I'm seeing 2, living at home. I'm seeing unemployed. I'm seeing slow text messages. I'm not supporting no lazy B. I feel it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I give myself okay. Shout out to Justin in the building. She cares. She's not going to have. Okay. Some women don't even understand that, Jack. Shout out to Jack. Some women don't even understand that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm trying to tell you, like, certain women, even if that woman lets them dudes know, like, yo, even though we friends, yo, you know what I'm saying? But again, if a woman allows that type of access to her, then your access, if y'all got the same access, there's nothing exclusive about making her your woman. You feel what I'm saying? But most women gotta understand, and this is not a bash on women, but most women gotta understand. Play the part that you want to get the part that you want to play, and you got to do it beforehand. You can't wait for a guy to say it to you. You know what I'm saying? You got to show him, like, yo, I'm cutting all these people off. I'm focused on you. Men see that, and we would. I don't want to say reward you for it, but yeah, reward you for it. You will become our woman, and you'll gain the benefits of that. So, what about a girl best friend? A girl best friend is fine, because at the end of the day, it's a woman. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I find it weird when a woman just has male friends. Like so you don't know no homies. You don't got no homies as chicks. Like that to me, that's a super red flag. That's a super red flag because in order for us to become adults, we all went to elementary school, junior high school, college. If you didn't go to college, you joined the workforce. So you gain friends all through those phases of your life. So you don't mess with nobody from all that schooling, all that interaction, all that peer bonding, all that. So none of them jack with you. That's crazy to me. So that's why I think of it like that. Show dominance, matter, proof of resilience, proof of greatness, proof legacy, keep pushing, existence itself. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that quote, man. Appreciate that. Shout out to Jesus in the building. Shout out to John in the building. Appreciate that. All you old dog. That was a good one. I like that one. That was cool. That was cool. That was cool. That was cool. That was creative. All right, y'all. So again, question was biggest red flag while dating. Number 1, unemployed. Number 2, living at home. Number 3, non-traditional best friends. And number 4, slow text replies. I got mixed answers in the chat, which is fine. I went with unemployed. The rest of the world at 45%. Mind y'all, over 8,000 people voted on this. Went with unemployed. Went with unemployed. People don't got time for people that don't got their own motion, their own money on. And people not talking about being rich. You know what I'm saying? Being rich and being able to bring something to the table, that's two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like at bare minimum, everybody should have something that's sustainable as an individual. So that way when we bring it together, if we bring it together, it's bigger than what we had before. So ain't nobody in this economy too. Come on, man. I remember at one point in time, like dudes wasn't even wasting gas for real going to a girl house unless they was gonna do something. I remember that. I remember that era. One point in time was like, yo, and it's like, oh nah, oh alright, so I'm not wasting my gas going over there. So I remember it was a point in time where dudes was even on that type of time. In this era, everybody has to have some sort of hustle, making their own money, having their own motion. Like the economy is crazy. The value of the dollar is going down every day. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to next popular opinion question. I don't be a suck. Shout out to I feel you on that, bro. I feel you on that. The inflation goes crazy. I'm trying to tell you, man. All right, next popular opinion question. Worst TV dad drip on this list. Worst TV dad drip on this list, meaning with the clothes that they wore, right? And this is for the show, not outside of the show. So worst TV dad drip on this list. Number 1, Rock from Rock. Number 2, Frank Mitchell from Moesha. Number 3, Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Number 4, Pops from the Wayans Brothers. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, the question is worst TV dad drip on this list. Number 1, Rock from Rock, right? Number 2, Frank Mitchell from Moesha. Number 3, Carl Winslow from Family Matters. And number 4, Pops from the Wayans Brothers. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. All these dads had really terrible drip on the show. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of them had that stuff on like that. You know what I'm saying? They not in the conversation with Bill Cosby, because you know when Bill Cosby used to go out with Claire on the show, he was always suited and booted. He had them suits on. You know what I'm saying? Philip Banks always had that shit on. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was always suited and booted. So these dads drip was terrible. Like their stylist was terrible on the show, and it was a part of their characteristic as well. Rock was a garbage man. So, I mean, he not going to get drippy. He not going to get jiggy with it. You know, Frank Mitchell drip was so... I ain't never seen Frank go out with fine-ass D on the show. And I was like, yo, Frank got that shit on. He trying to impress D tonight. Like, he ain't never give me that, right? Carl Winslow, he a top cop. Ain't got no drip. And Pops, I mean, I'm saying, though, like, in the chat, I'm seeing Carl Winslow. I'm watching live just because I want to learn. Shout out to Marco's in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. So I'm seeing a mix between Carl Winslow and what was that? Carl Winslow and no, so it was Carl Winslow. So I'm seeing Carl Winslow in the chat. I'm not mad at the Carl Winslow pick. I'm not mad at the Carl Winslow pick. I'm actually going to agree with the Carl Winslow pick because he was never dripped out. Like, he ain't never take Harriet out for a night on the town and was just like, yo, I'm gonna show you something, Harriet. Like, even when they had the episode where they went to France or whatever, he still wasn't drippy. Like, you a top cop for 20 years. You got a couple dollars to, you know, get you a little fly, something, you know? So, at the end of the day, I'm going with Carl Winslow. The chat screamingly went with Carl Winslow. The rest of the world at 41%, mind y'all, over 11,000 people voted on this, went with Pops Williams from the Wayans Brothers, which is hilarious to me. Carl was pretty bad. Now, that's a fact. That's a fact. He stayed in his uniform. Yo, bro, and the other times he wasn't in the uniform, like, for real, all you saw Carl in is, like, one of them old school dad's sweaters, you know what I'm saying? Khakis or cargo, whatever them type of pants was or whatever. And he was chilling, you know what I'm saying? Or which one had the garbage suit? Rock was the garbage man. Rock was the garbage man. So he never was drippy at all. So these characters was very terrible when it comes to their clothes. Shout out to Kobe in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. I don't know if he's cracking jokes or he's trying to be a stain, but shout out to you though. Sounds like it. Nah, but that's a fact, man. So again, worst TV dad drip. Myself, the chat went with Carl Winslow, but the rest of the world at 41% went with Pops from the Wayans Brothers. I mean, to Pop's credit, like he tried. You know what I'm saying? Like you see him trying, even though it was wild tacky. He still tried. You know what I'm saying? It was a time where it was an episode where he put on the white Timbo, the Dada outfit. Like, Pops tried. You know what I'm saying? He had the white Timbs. You know what I'm saying? So he tried. So me personally, I can't say Pops. You know what I'm saying? Pops was probably the most drippy. Colors was all through the roof, but he at least tried. You know what I'm saying? Who had the best drip? Who had the best TV dad drip of all time? I have to go with Phillip Banks, bro. I have to go with Phillip Banks, bro. He always, well, for the most part, Phillip had that shit on. For the most part. If he not chilling in the crib, if he's on his way to court, coming from court, he taking Vivian somewhere, he always was suited and booted, bro. Always was suited and booted. What suit did he have? He had mad suits. Phillip Banks, he had mad suits. He probably had more suits than Steve Harvey show, but Steve Harvey used to wear a lot of colors. You know what I'm saying? But Steve Harvey's not a dad. You know what I'm saying? He's not a TV dad. You know what I mean? So out of all the dads, to me, it's definitely Phillip Banks, me personally. That's just me personally. Now, What You Call Me used to have it on low key, but it was kind of granola-ish. You know what I'm saying? The father from Sister Sister, you know what I'm saying? He was also suited and booted. He owned a limousine business, and, you know, he tried, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was fired. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, we had some good dad drip, TV dad drip, and we've had mostly terrible TV dad drip. So That's crazy. And mind you, over 11,000 people voted on that. So that's lit. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Our Hollywood Need to Ask Us came up with this segment because I feel like I got better ideas for movies or a movie series. And they just been giving us terrible movies in Hollywood throughout the year. I mean, outside of Sinners in the month of July, the movie game has been really like So I feel like I got better ideas, like I said, for movies or a movie series. If y'all don't know what a movie series is, it's basically what Alien Earth is. And that's fire. I don't know if y'all have seen Alien Earth yet. But or 8 episodes of that is fire. So make sure y'all tap into Alien Earth too. But my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I would love to see a movie about choices and the likelihood of dealing with hindsight is 50-50. And the reason why I thought about this, in the NFL, quarterback Shador Sanders is going through something right now where it seems like his organization is not believing in him, right? So a lot of people say, well, the story just came out that the Baltimore Ravens wanted to draft him. And during draft time, he was like, yo, I appreciate it, but yeah, I don't want to go to Baltimore. I don't want to go to Baltimore because, one, y'all system don't fit me. Number two, I'm going to be sitting behind Lamar Jackson until y'all trade me or whatever the case may be. So the development, y'all a great organization, but it's not in the same cut, right? So he was like, nah, I'd rather take my chances elsewhere. Beginning of the season, if you're a quarterback, a rookie quarterback, would you go to Cleveland or Baltimore if you want to play? Now, here's what hindsight is 50-50. Lamar Jackson is hurt. He's going to be out for some games. So a lot of people were saying because he's hurt, he could have easily been playing right now, easily been starting. Instead of going to Cleveland where they have a weaker quarterback class, but it doesn't seem like the organization holds his value in high regard by letting him play, right? But he also earned that right? So some people like, oh, he's crazy. He don't know what he's doing. But the likelihood of Lamar Jackson getting hurt this season after having so much success was very low. He couldn't foresee Lamar Jackson getting hurt. Nobody would have came into the season that Baltimore is struggling and Lamar's not playing. So the likelihood would have been Jackson would have been having another career year. He would have been having an MVP year, and they would have been trying to make a push for the playoffs, opposed to the Browns, who is struggling. And now, what if he would have been on the Ravens, sitting behind Lamar, having his great season, and the Browns, they just traded their top two out of the 4 quarterbacks that they had in the beginning of the year. So that could have, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to see a movie based on choices and the likelihood of hindsight being 50-50. So I would love to see that type of movie. I would base it in drama. And this movie I would have directed by Regina King. I know she's a great actress, but she's also a really good or great director. So I would love to see a movie based on that premise, again, about choices and the likelihood on hindsight being 50-50. Shout out to Malu in the chat. Appreciate you tapping in. We just went over episode 200, so make sure you tap in 200 in the chat, Malu. Appreciate you tapping in. Y'all don't forget, like, live, share, support. So you feel me, Malu? Feel me? You always come in here on your business. I appreciate you always, Malu. Respect from Poland. Shout out to Poland in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. It would be an interesting movie. Shout out to KO. Now that's a fact. I think it would be fire because it really put the onus on making proper decisions. But we live in life. Sometimes not sometimes, well, every person is trying to make the best decision that they can make. And sometimes the road that seems easy to travel is not. So hindsight is absolutely 50-50. So, it is what it is. But it's crazy. You're seeing a lot of people speak on it. It's like, yo, the likelihood. You know what I mean? They take out the likelihood. Lamar's a two-time MVP. What's the likelihood of winning a third one? Very high, very high. So it's just it's crazy how things play out. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must see segment. Y'all know I gave y'all 3 must see movies each in every episode. Like I said, we just went over the 200th episode, and I give y'all fire movies each and every episode. And I kind of pride myself, not kinda, I do pride myself on feeling like I'm talking about movies y'all never seen, y'all never heard, so that way y'all could go tap into it because there's reasons why I'm telling y'all to tap into these movies. Alright, so my first must-see movie came out in 2007, directed by John Mackenzie. This movie stars Michael Keaton, Michael Caine, Rachel Fajana, Judith Garich, and Ray Sabaja. Sabaja. His name is Sabaja. I got that right, Sabaja. This movie is called Quicksand. This movie must see, y'all. It's a fire movie about an inspector who's, all about his inspecting job. He gets caught up in an acting ring, and the acting ring turns into, you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you, so again, make sure you tap in to see the movie Quicksand. A second must-see movie came out in 2007, directed by James Wayne. This movie stars Kevin Bacon, John Goodman, Kelly Preston, Garrett Hedlund, Aisha Tyler, and Jordan Garrett. This movie is called Death Sentence. Fire movie. Fire movie. This movie hit me to the heart in one of these scenes, but it's a must-see movie. It's action-packed, it's thriller, it's all that in one, drama. It's about a father who works for a company, so involved in his children's life, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for you. Make sure you tap in to see the movie Death Sentence. Third and final must-see movie came out in 1993, directed by James B. Harris. This movie stars Wesley Snipes, Dennis Hopper, Viggo Mortensen, Lolita Da Vinci, and Dan Dedea. This movie is called Boiling Point. Fire movie. Fire must-see movie. If y'all haven't seen this already, this is about a top cop out on his business. His partner gets killed, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. It is a must-see movie, and again, I won't spoil it or ruin it for you. So again, my 3 must-see movies, y'all. Number 1, Quicksand. Number 2, Death Sentence. And number 3, Boiling Point. So make sure y'all tap in to see those movies. Movie Quicksand, Death Sentence. Yes, all 3 of those movies. Fire, I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret these movies. You're not gonna regret these movies. These movies, great action. They're rated R. They're not the rated R movies that I suggested last week last episode and the episode before that, because those movies had real rated R. Like, those movies were so rated R. I had to look up what rated R mean after the movies I had mentioned in the past, because those movies had real adult interaction going on in the movies. So, but these are rated R, but you know what I'm saying? It's action, violence, and all that in one. So these are must-see fire movies. Shout out to Ebony. I watched that movie. She mentioned the brown bunny. I watched that movie, The Brown Bunny, and the ending was unreal, Ashley. Yeah, you watched it. Yeah, you watched it. The ending of The Brown Bunny. The Brown Bunny is one of the movies that I spoke about previously, for those who don't know. And that is one of the movies I had to look up what rated R mean based on what they showed in that movie. So rated R means is sexual, adult images, nudity, violence, but I didn't know rated R, you can actually show adult intercourse in the movie. Meaning, like, you know, in most R-rated movies, somebody butt, you see the butt or the chest or whatever, and you see the motion, but they was showing like the interaction. So in the Brown Bunny, there's a scene at the end where they showed, and I was like, whoa. So that was one of the movies I had mentioned. Uh, I have got to go. Y'all have got to work too. Appreciate you, Malo, for tapping in. See you, Ashley. Take care, Jordan. Appreciate you for tapping in. Those are fire movies. Make sure y'all tap into those movies. But yes, the Brown Bunny, it was on a whole nother wave when it comes to that in particular. Alright, y'all, moving on to our next. Y'all know I highlight some music for y'all to go tap into each and every episode, whether it's new or old, whether it's hip hop or R&B. This episode, I'm gonna highlight the movie soundtrack of Above the Rim. We asked that question last episode, who had the best movie soundtrack of all times? A lot of y'all felt like it was Above the Rim. I thought it was, and I still feel like it's a Low Down Dirty Shame movie soundtrack. But make sure, for those who have not tapped into the Above the Rim movie soundtrack, make sure y'all put these 3 songs on your playlist. Number 1, Anything by SWV. Number 2, Pain by Tupac. Number 3, Afro Puffs by the Lady of Rage. Make sure y'all put those 3 songs on your playlist, again, from the Above the Rim music soundtrack. Again, this is the movie Above the Rim and their movie soundtrack. Put these 3 songs on your playlist. Again, number 1, Anything by SWV. Number 2, Pain by Tupac. Number 3, Afro Puffs by Lady of Rage. Make sure y'all put those 3 songs on your playlist. Shout out to Laser in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Hey, brother. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. Appreciate you in the chat, man. Not bad, bro. I'm telling you, those are some fire songs. Those are some fire songs. And I know why people think Above the Rim has the best soundtrack of all time. Mainly because Death Row did the damn soundtrack, and every fire song that they had at the time, they put on the soundtrack. I didn't say their most famous songs on the soundtrack. There's more famous songs on this soundtrack, but these are the songs you have to put on your playlist. And these are the songs that I feel is like a direct correlation to the movie. Above the Rim is a East Coast basketball film, and you got all this West Coast music in there. Mind you, the West Coast music is fire, but y'all get what I'm saying? Like, it's an East Coast movie with West Coast music. You know what I'm saying? But these 3 songs right here, it goes great with the film. Goes great with the film, and they fire songs. So, and that's why I say Low Down Dirty Shame is a better movie soundtrack, because those songs was designated for a Low Down Dirty Shame, and it was fire. So, not bad. Good old days. Rap music isn't the same. Now that's a fact. That's a whole nother conversation. But rap music isn't the same anymore, is because everybody think they could do it, and because everybody think they could do it, when it gets to you, the quality is not the same. The skill level is. You see what I'm saying? The skill level is like, whoa. So yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact. All right, y'all. Again, don't forget to hit them likes. Don't forget to hit them 100s in the chat. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000. So continue to like, subscribe, and share. All right, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's Send 'em to Turkey or Nah. Send 'em to Turkey or Nah. It's an inside joke on the show. When people say and do reckless things, we send them to Turkey, because the country Turkey has some of the craziest laws that we've ever heard. So we send them to Turkey, dog. Send them to Turkey or Nah. Type in T in the chat to Send them to Turkey. typing in not to send them to Turkey. First one of the night. Former NFL player Antonio Brown says, if the WNBA disappeared today, no one would notice. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Are we sending Antonio Brown to Turkey for making those comments, or we not? Do he has, do he has a point by saying that? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Jay in the building. Subscribe and share. Appreciate that, my brother. Again, it helps with the growth of the show, man. Definitely appreciate that. But let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending him to Turkey or nah? Are we sending him to Turkey or nah? So, in the chat, I'm seeing a mixed bag. I'm seeing Turkey. I'm actually not going to send him to Turkey for this one. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, me personally, right? Is the comment reckless? Yeah, it's reckless. Is he wrong? Like, let me say this. Because I stand on what I say. We want women's basketball. And we just don't want women's basketball. We want it to thrive. Women's basketball and women in sports is inspirational for our daughters, our little sisters, all the younger ladies coming up in the culture and that could do something positive with their life. So, do we have a vested interest in seeing the WNBA win? I would say so, because it's something positive. Now, is it good business? No. They haven't turned a profit since, never actually. And the organization of the WNBA has been out since mid to late 90s, and they've never turned a profit. And each year and every year, it gets deeper and deeper in the hole. Some companies are hedging their bets, as far as TV companies, by hedging their bets by investing, even though the business is a failing business. So again, is he wrong for saying that? Would nobody care? He has merit by saying that, mainly because nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but it's not a thriving business. It's in a hole for $30-something million or $44 million. So by the attendance, by the TV product, by people, the lack of merchandise being bought, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Because if people really cared about something, one, they're going to show up and show out. Two, they're going to support by buying merchandise, by, purchasing autographs or whatever the case may be. They're going to be to support those ladies, buy their sneakers, this, that, and the third. I don't hear women speaking about buying the new Angel Reese's or I always forget the girl on the Aces who's the MVP of the league. I don't hear many women buying her sneaker out, meaning like, yo, that's that sneaker. I gotta get that sneaker. I gotta get that shoe. I'm just gonna get it just to support. They talking about buying something else. So by the actions of the business of the WNBA, it shows that people don't care based on the result, based on the bottom line. So is he wrong for real for saying it? The point of the matter is people want to see it do well. People want to see it to be successful. But there's a real side of it, of the bottom line, is if it wasn't successful, and it hasn't been successful, that people don't care. Because if they did, they would support. So it's kind of half and half for me. But overall, I'm going to agree with half the chat. I'm going to say not send them to Turkey because there's merit to that. Even though myself, I want to see the league do well. I want to see the league continue to push and move forward. Like me personally, I enjoy seeing some of those players play. Like as a kid, I thought Cynthia Cooper was the female Michael Jordan. She used to just straight kill him. You know what I mean? Cheryl Swoops, Rebecca Lobo, the other girl from I don't know if I'm Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie was a dog. Like it was a lot of great players, and then throughout that period of time, you got Maya Moore, Diane Taurasi, like you had really great players in the WNBA throughout the league and throughout their history. But if people really cared about the league, they would support it. So, I can't send them to Turkey based on that merit alone. Shout out to Vic in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, Vic. I know we was on the other link, and so it's crazy. But appreciate you tapping in. Cheryl Miller, yes. Cheryl Miller was a dog. I don't know if y'all ever seen Cheryl Miller play, but Cheryl Miller was what, 6'2", 6'3", maybe 6'4", running up and down. Her motor was crazy. Could dribble, could score. She put up 100 points in high school. Like, she was a bucket, but she ended up getting hurt. But at the end of the day, again, as a culture, we have a vested interest in seeing it pop off. But as far as the bottom line, the business of the WNBA, people show it time and time again that people don't care. So, Reggie Miller's sister. Yeah, that's a fact. For those who don't know, Cheryl Miller is Reggie Miller's sister, and she used to bust him up throughout their childhood. She tells the story that Reggie Miller, their father used to pick him up after their games or whatever, and Reggie Miller got in the car, was like, yo, I just dropped 60 points, like, and he thought he was doing something. And he looked at his pops and looked at Cheryl Miller like yeah, that's cool. Like, he was like, so what you had, 50, 60? And the pops was like, yeah, nah, she had 100, bro. 100, like, so she was super nice. She was super nice for those who don't know. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Send them to Turkey or nah. Again, type in T to send them to Turkey. Type in N, not to send them to Turkey. Versus is announced. Versus haven't been announced in a minute, y'all. Versus is announced that Cash Money and No Limit Records is going to go head-to-head in the Versus this month. Is it this month? Yes, this month, October 25th. What do y'all think about that in the chat? Type in T to send Versus to Turkey for doing this, or type in N for Turkey for doing this. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know. Is this a good bet? Do people want to see this, or we not going to send them to Turkey because people do want to see it? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, I love this. Like, this is 90s, 2000 nostalgia, like heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised. I'm, again, Jay-Z, Biggie, Little Kim, Fabulous, all day long. You know what I'm saying? That's me. But I appreciate great music, great hip-hop music. I'm not a hater, and I'm an appreciator of great music. Lil Wayne and the guys of Cash Money versus No Limit, you can't tell the story of hip-hop without those two labels at all. Cash Money, and mind you, Lil Wayne wasn't the front guy at the time. He was the youngest one. At the time, it was Juvenile. And Juvenile style was so different that it was just fire to me. It was like, yo, you understand? Or like, just his cadence and the words that he used, even though they're from New Orleans, I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised. I got his story as a kid. These are grown men, and I got his story as a kid, and he's in New Orleans. That's crazy impact. Him, BG, Turk, Lil Wayne. I'm probably missing a few people. Manny Fresh, and of course, Birdman. And they bring in, and mind you, hip hop already had gold. It already had platinum. But they brought the gold and diamonds together, and the shine made it even more. And we never seen Southern guys be that flamboyant in when it comes to jewelry. We've always seen New York guys in, you know, the rope chains, and they always look menacing and always look kind of like drug related, to be honest with you. But Cash Money was just such a fire movement. Now we go to No Limit. You cannot tell the story of hip hop without Master P. This is being said by a guy that's born and raised in Brooklyn. My allegiance is to Biggie, Jay, Little Kim, Fabulous. All Brooklyn artists, all Brooklyn greats. Big Daddy Kane, and it goes on and on and on. Busta Rhymes. The first time I've even heard of Master P was from one of my cousins in Virginia. Mind you, Master P base was actually Richmond, California, by way of New Orleans. But that style of music, the way he used to release his album covers, the style how they put on of the Southern Hustler, I got it. And that movement with No Limit, make them say and that's just the epitome of their movement. I can't wait to see this verses. I think this verse is going to be absolute fire. This is going to be absolute fire in my opinion. Me personally, I think this is going to be absolute fire. I can't wait to see this. At the end of the day, we need both. We needed both of their stories. We needed both Cash Money and No Limit, their stories, and giving that energy from the South and how relatable it was for somebody born and raised in Brooklyn. We needed that. And not just for me, but for the whole culture. So I can't wait to see this. This is going to be fire. You got great artists on both sides. It's going to be absolute fire. Shout out to Vic. Remember them Anthony Mason Knicks. Yo, you talking about my dog Bebop? That's my dog Bebop right there. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Anthony Mason, man. He was a dog. Who's fun? Who's messing with Wayne? I mean, when it comes to rap and style and cadence and ability, I don't know if he's home, but don't act like Mystical can't go, bro. I'm not comparing careers. We're not doing that. I'm talking about just the skill of rap. When you talk about the skill of rap and having careers, that's two different things. We know a lot of commercial rappers who are very successful and their career is better than somebody that's skillful. But if they rapping, you see the skill level and they will get smoked. Mystical skill level and Lil Wayne's skill level is about the same, bro. It's about the same, because you gotta remember, when Mystical was out of this world, nobody was touching Mystical at that time. I remember that, bro. When you had Danger and like he had like other nuclear bomb songs. You know what I'm saying? The Man Right Here. There's a couple of joints it's escaping my mind, but he had a lot of nuclear bomb music at the time, and it was going. His music was going. So the skill of rap, Mystical and Wayne, it's kind of like neck and neck, bro. It's kind of like neck and neck. Now, who made better projects? Obviously, Wayne. Who's going to be regarded as the better artist? Obviously, Wayne. Obviously, Wayne. And then, of course, Mystical had his, the stuff, outside of music. So, you know what I mean? A shout out to Ike Love. Appreciate Ike Love in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. We just went over episode 200. So hit that 200 in the chat, my brother. He said all is trash. You think all of it is trash? I don't think all is trash, bro. I think there was some fire music between both labels. I really do believe that. And you can't tell that was the story of hip-hop without either one, especially Master P, because Master P not only helped change the scope of hip-hop, he changed the business scope of hip-hop, the value in hip-hop. Cause Master P, clothing line, movies, like he's displaying his songs in his movies. And then he like, yeah, nah, we gonna package this shit ourselves. We getting our own CDs, our own DVDs. Like he changed the business of hip hop forever, forever. You know what I'm saying? But that's why music is preference based as well too. All of I'm talking about. Nah, but even if you felt that way, you know what I'm saying? That's also valid too because, again, music is preference based. You know what I'm saying? But I just think this will be amazing for the culture, and them going against each other is perfect because it's gonna be competition, but they really putting on for New Orleans in a whole other way. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it, me personally. So I think that's gonna be fire. I'm from the Bay. They ran Master P out. Okay. Is okay. Well, I mean, cause the Bay in Richmond, that's not in the same area, right? Cause I've been to California several times. I could be mistaken, but um, but we gotta remember, right? Even when if an artist get ran out of somewhere, if they did, and if they really did, we gotta look at the totality of hip hop and the influence. So I mean, the Locks talked about having a bad night in Detroit. They had a bad night where they had to fight up their way out, and they caught the end of it. But at the end of the day, they still regarded, and they still should be. Richmond is the Bay. Okay. So that's again my mistake, bro. Richmond. Every time I think of the Bay, I think of more so San Bernardino. So I thought Richmond was like on the outside of the Bay. That's what I thought. So I'm glad you clarified that for me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I've been to Cali several times and the different areas. So I'm glad you cleared that up for me, bro. Like for real, I appreciate that, bro. So we talking about groups. What about BTNH? That's South. Oh, that's South Bay. Okay. So I know I wasn't crazy. I know I wasn't crazy. But thank you for clearing that up for me. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for clearing that up for me. Sing it. Is that you talking about 8 Ball? Is that that you talking about? Is that what you talking about? The BTNH? Is that 8 Ball? No, that's NJ. What's that? 8 Ball and bro. Bone Thugs and Harmony. But you gotta remember, Bone Thugs and Harmony already had their verses against. I think it was Cypress Hill. The Bone Thugs already had their verses. They already had, because you remember they was on stage and they was about to get it popping with the other group. I could be wrong on who they had the verses with, but I could have sworn it was Cypress Hill, but it was Bone Thugs and somebody else though, and they was about to get it. It was about to get shaken on stage. It had songs with Pac and Biggie. Now that's a fact, bro. Come on, Bone Thugs. Like that's a legendary group, bro. That's a legendary group, bro. Kidding me? That's a legendary group, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a legend. You're not gonna get no argument with me about Bone Thugs and Harmony. Again, one of my brothers, you see this man right over here, one of my brother's favorite groups of all time was Bone Thugs and Harmony. And this is why I say the culture really need to chill and let the music just be the music. How can California music speak to a kid that's born and raised from Brooklyn? Because it's good, because it's fire. I think the music we make in New York is absolute fire. From the 90s to now, I think it's absolute fire. I just love that Cali sound. So music is really, if it's dope, people gonna fuck with it regardless. Oh, I gotta watch my language. But people gonna mess with it regardless, no matter what area you from. If it's fire, it's fire. Like just the other day, I was bumping Richie Rich last album, fire. And that drum was fire. I'm like, yo, this joint is fire. Like, so again, great music is always great music. Mozzie go crazy. I know about Mozzie. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Great music travels. So I hate the fact that when people debate, they make it seem like, oh, there's, East Coast, West Coast bias, or you're biased because you're from here or you're from there. No, great music is great music. Simple and plain. And you could appreciate it all the same. That's why I'm looking forward to this monumental verses, me personally. Do you want to hear my new song I made up? Shout out to Cal in the building. Appreciate you tapping to hit them likes, Cal. Hit the 100s. You know what I'm saying? Show love, support. We just did our 200th episode. Hit the 200 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Show that love. Show that love. If you got a song that you want people to hear, I'm cool with you saying your name and the song that you want people to check out in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I did appreciate that. If you did, I appreciate that. Okay? It does help with the growth of the show. But again, let the people know your name and the song. All right? I'm only 8 and I don't have money. All right, now come on, bro. I thought you was serious, man. I thought, like, now you trolling. Like, come on. I thought you was serious, bro. Come on, stop it. We don't have no kids up here. This was grown conversations. Like, chill. Don't try to get me like banned off of YouTube, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's love over here, bro. I thought you was being genuine, bro. Alright, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps. Again, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night, y'all. Studies have shown men need to get it out sexually 21 times a month to avoid the risk of cancer. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Now, for women, they say for women that there's no defined amount that they need to get that off, but they do need to get that off a certain amount of times a month, or women will go crazy. Just like men, we will go crazy if we don't get that off of us 21 times a month. But not only that, but for us, we will avoid risk of cancer. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat as well. Even a last question I want to add to that is the culture in itself. And what I mean by the culture in itself, us as a population, are we really getting it popping like how we used to, or are we seeing a decline in sexual behavior? Let me know on that, what y'all think about that in the chat as well. Shout out to Kev in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. I miss the Wu-Tang Clan. They still out, bro. They still active. Bro. Raekwon just dropped a new album. They still active, bro. But you talking about like just them all being together? But they just did a project not too long ago, because they did the show and the documentary, so they had a project right after that. If you're just talking about the music, you know what I mean? Because music lasts forever. With the same energy, or with the same person, or running wild. I mean, I would say both, because some people is in relationships, so you with the same person. Are people still having the same amount of intercourse today with their partner that they're not like how we used to prior to? Or is we running around? Like, which one is it? Like, are we interacting with each other like we supposed to? Because we're actually supposed to interact. I told people this about us growing up and going to school. Us going to school is not about us learning and becoming smart about scholastics. It's learning how to be effective communicators in interpersonal relationships. It's all about connection with people. That's what school is for. The scholastics and the critique, I can't get the word together. The curriculum, that's just an added bonus. We seen that during COVID when everybody had to stay home, and you could always learn something. You could always get homeschooled. But what it robs you is the connection with the opposite sex that, like me personally, like when I was going to junior high school, all through my college years, like school wasn't the reason I wanted to go to school. Like I'm an athlete, you know what I'm saying? I'm popular. I wanna connect, So because of we came from COVID in that space, we only not a couple years, but we're about 5 or 6 years removed from COVID. But a lot of those people who are young adults now missed years where they could have been interacting and learning how to interact with the opposite sex. So are we still having the same amount of interaction with each other? Sexual behavior that we need. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about it. Me personally, I think we are having those experiences, me personally, but it's empty calories. None of it is hitting on nothing. None of it is leading anywhere. We're just doing it to do it, just to get it off. The reason why I think that, because we've seen a raise in STDs. I said this before. Y'all can look up your own research. 1 out of 2 adults in this country has herpes. HIV is through the roof in places like Atlanta, Houston, Mississippi, Philadelphia. I mean, it's running rampant. Pennsylvania, I should say. Pennsylvania is running rampant. So I think we're interacting in the act of sex, but it's empty calories. It's not hitting on nothing. It's not leading to no long-lasting relationships. It's not leading to anything that's meaningful where you could at least build with somebody on a regular day-to-day basis. So me personally, I think that we are having the sexual aspect of it, but we're not connecting. And that's a part of the things that we need to learn. Like a lot of dating is going on, that's happening is online. So how can you really connect by connecting with somebody online? Like you could meet somebody online, but connection comes from being intimate, not just from a sexual standpoint, but intimacy is intimacy. It's not the same in total as sex. Intimacy, being intimate, is having somebody's complete and utter attention, and y'all are present in each other's presence. That's intimacy. Kissing is a form of intimacy when there's intent behind the kiss. If you're kissing just with the intent to have sex, then you're having sex. So that's why I say the act of sex people are having, but the connection aspect, the interpersonal energy that we're supposed to gain from each other is not being had at all. Shout out to Simon in the building. Appreciate you for typing in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. We appreciate you tapping in. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11. So again, hit them like, subscribe, and that share button. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A Boogie with a hoodie. His crew and him was seen having a brawl in Japan, in a club in Japan. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. A Boogie from the hoodie is from my home state, New York City, and like people like to say, yo, but what about New York State? We're not talking about New York State. Shout out to New York State. We're not talking about New York State. Boogie's from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. And me personally, I would just say, man, be careful. Be careful. And I'm saying be careful for the aspect of this. You don't want to run the risk of ruining your reputation. You making great money. You've been a great artist. You've been doing your thing. Now, to continue to do that, there's only few artists that get to cross over into that space to make performance money, a walkthrough money, and you're in position to do that. You've been doing that. But as you get older, you're going to want to continue to do that, right? So you don't want to mess up that opportunity by having a reputation for your crew, or you being too wild, where you have an appearance, you having a performance, and your crew basically mess up the money. Because now clubs don't want to book you because they have to take a higher insurance policy to make sure that the night goes by properly. And these $1 million insurance doesn't help the club's reputation, because the more incidents that happen, they gotta pay a higher amount, a premium for that same $1 million insurance. So you don't want to run the risk of having a bad reputation for having that particular situation moving forward. Me personally. So A Boogie, that's pretty much my advice to you. You've been doing your thing, great artist, got much love, much respect for you, and I want to continue to see for you to do well. So, and even though the crash out could have been super valid, because people will play with you. You could be in a place where people know if you crash out, they benefit from it, right? So again, you from New York City, you know that people want you to get out your position. This is easy. And just prepare your crew like, yo, we here to protect ourselves. We not here to start nothing. We here to have a good time and about making this long lasting money. So that's my take to A Boogie with a hoodie. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. The Cleveland Browns have traded their former starter in Joe Flacco to a divisional rival, the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Because of the trade of Joe Flacco, this would allow Shedeur Sanders, who's been dominating headlines in the NFL. He's a great player, should be playing, should have been playing. Would allow him to move up to number 2. But a little bit before I came on tonight's pod, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Stefanski, he has said that he hasn't made a clear-cut decision that Shedeur would even be the number 2, which is crazy. So there's different levels to this. So for the first level, your team, and for Joe Flacco, your team don't think much of you if they trade you to a divisional rival, not a regular team, a rival. Cincinnati, Cleveland, when they play, it's big business in the sense of like those games matter to them. Your rival. You trade your starting quarterback to them. If I'm Joe Flacco, I would feel super disrespected. Y'all don't fear me at all. Where y'all send me to a team that not only has one killer, but 2 at the wide receiver position. You putting me with these guys? So y'all think I'm cheap, even though I'm 40. Y'all think I'm bunions. Y'all think y'all think y'all got the book on me. So if I'm Joe Flacco, the rest of the season I'm locked in and loaded, especially because I gotta play Cleveland Browns twice. Especially. Y'all think I'm that buns when y'all trade me to the rival team? And you give me 2, I would say 2 out of the top 10 receivers in all the NFL. 2 out of the between Higgins and Jamar Chase, 2 out of the top 10 receivers in the whole league. You giving me them? Cool. Say less. Say less. So that's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is this. Why is it so hard for them to really support Shedeur Sanders? I don't get it. I don't get it. The last time we see Shedeur Sanders before the preseason game, we seen him winning, and well-deserved, might I add, best quarterback in college football. He won the Johnny Unitas Award. If you look at the history of that award, they give it to the guy who ends up being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They don't give that award to just anyone. Shedeur Sanders had the highest passing ratio of all time in college football as a starter, full-time starter. He's lit it up everywhere he's gone. So now we have the draft process. The draft happens. We've seen him in preseason. He looked very good in preseason. The second game, I don't count against him, mainly because he was out there with guys that they wasn't even going to make the team. None of them made the team. None of those guys that was out there with him made the team. So he was trying to turn sugar from shit. But there was a learning curve in that game as well too. Cool. So you don't have that type of faith in him where you name him the number 2. Now, some NFL analysts or experts will say, well, the reason why they don't want to name him number 2 is because they have a different play call from his and Dylan Gabriel. Now, a lot of people showed Dylan Gabriel love, but it was somewhat solid. He didn't necessarily fuck the game up, but he's throwing 5 to 10 yard passes. Like, what are we talking about? He's not asked to win the game. And not to mention, he didn't look that great throwing 5 to 10 yard passes. It was solid. It wasn't super terrible. He almost threw a pick. Like, it wasn't super terrible, but he didn't have a great game. It wasn't solid for real. It was like, okay, he did all right. And if he didn't throw the 2 touchdowns, y'all would have looked at that completely different, but he did. But also what I'm noticing, he doesn't galvanize the troops. There's not an energy that comes from Dylan Gabriel. But he's getting his shot to start. So he's getting his shot to start with full support. Shedeur can't even get the number 2. Even if it's a different play call. And this is why the NFL is so lazy to me. So wouldn't it be an asset to have not just one system in place, but 2? I grew up playing football. I played all the way to college. And if you got separate systems for different quarterbacks, regardless if you practice this one system all week, if you're trying to win the game, there's something called adjusting. An adjustment. You mean to tell me the top athletes in the world can't adjust from one system to the next in the game? A sport that they've been playing their whole life? Base 44 is always going to be base 44. Just with longer terminology and unnecessary jargon. It's still base 44, bro. Whether you run it out of 10 personnel, 11 personnel, it's still base 44, bro. The blocking scheme is going to change always based on the front. All right, we got 4-3, so we do this when we got the 4-3. Yo, we got 3-4, so we're going to do this with the 3-4. Yo, we got him playing the shade in the nose, and then we got the linebacker coming off the 5. So that takes a different type of block, and you do that on pace, on in play. That's not a hard thing to do, and they give all these excuses on why they can't do this or why they can't do that. Just like another lazy narrative. Oh, a lot of teams didn't want Shedeur because they didn't want the attention. Bullshit. It's the NFL. What NFL team don't want attention? All NFL teams ain't trying to win. Let's keep this a buck, yo. All NFL teams ain't trying to win. How many times you watch a draft every year and you see an outstanding player and a team should draft this outstanding player? He fits their system. He's this fast. He's this strong. And they like, yeah, nah, we're going to go with this guy. But he's better. Yeah, nah, we're going to go with this guy. Every team ain't trying to win. So the fact that they like, oh, we don't need no distraction. You're the NFL. You're the NFL. What are you talking about? You don't need no distraction. And how can a guy be a distraction if he just garner that type of energy? Now, I guarantee you one thing. If Shador would have went to Kansas, if he would have went to Baltimore, if he would have went to Cincinnati, if he would have went to Buffalo, we already know who the starters for those teams. So we already know that, yo, there ain't going to be much chatter up in here. There's going to be a whole lot of development. So if there's chatter based on him being on your team, then guess what? Your quarterback ain't it. Your quarterback ain't it. If your team if the organization gets shook up from one quarterback being on your team, then your present quarterback ain't it. He don't got it, Chief. He's just a placeholder. And it's always been like that. Because outstanding talent in the NFL at the quarterback position, no matter how galvanizing another guy is, when you on that team, it's that guy's team. So, again, Cleveland Browns continue not to support Shador Sanders in a way that's needed. And it's so lazy. So you mean to tell me a $1 billion company don't know how to control the media? The NFL just bought ESPN. They have a partnership 10% with Disney. And they don't know how to control media? Lazy narrative. Lazy. And the fact that every team trying to win. Have you seen the Titans? Have you seen the Cardinals? Have you seen the Jets? They trying to win? You seen the Dolphins? You seen the Saints? So again, the fact that these different narratives continue to plague itself, and just let time prevail. Time will show the realness of this situation. Again, with Joe Flacco going to Cincinnati, super disrespectful, sending me to an in-rival team. You giving me 2 out of the top 10 receivers in the league. I'm about to go crazy. Y'all don't respect me. And if I'm Shador Sanders, I still want to stay. I said this when he got drafted. You got 5 quarterbacks, and this is how it will play out. We will never see Watson play for the Browns again. He's hurt. He will never play for them again. They saying he's getting healthy. They say he's getting healthy. Beautiful. You're never going to see him play again. He's going to get healthy enough where they're going to trade him to a team, and there's always a team desperate enough to take a quarterback on his last leg. And Watson, before the injury, before the whole scandal, he was a top 5 quarterback. So teams will always take a chance with that type of talent. That's one. Never will see him play again. We all know that Joe Flacco was the bridge guy. When they had the other kid from Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, I can't think of his name right now, but he wasn't it either. He's not going to be a starter in this league. He had a chance to be a clear-cut starter in Pittsburgh. He wasn't it. They sent him to Philly to back up. He looked good in Philly, but Philly's a different animal. They was a different animal. He's just not the type of guy that's going to lead a franchise. I can't think of his name right now, but he has real small hands. Kenny Pickett. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. It sounds disrespectful, but he's just not it. Dylan Gabriel is better half to 30 than 20. He's 26, 27 years old. Played in college football for 6 years. And you know what's funny to me? It's funny how Dylan Gabriel played 6 years in college, and it's not a pick party. It's not like, yo, we're going to pick him apart if he plays 6 years. If Shador would have played 6 years in college, if he would have stayed this year at Colorado, they would have been great Just like when Dylan Gabriel went to Oklahoma. Now, if he played his 6 year like how Dylan Gabriel played his 6 year with Oregon, they would look. Imagine Shedeur Sanders still being at Colorado this year and next year. So you mean to tell me by the time he would have came to the NFL, they wouldn't have picked him all the way apart? But for Dylan Gabriel, it's cool though. Heard you. All right, cool. Shedeur is still the better quarterback. He still has a higher ceiling. So again, it will play out the way it's supposed to play out. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be a great career backup. I don't see him as a starter. And that's not no shade. It's based on the history of the league and based on what we've seen and based on what's going on right now. He's a short quarterback. He has problems seeing over the line if he's not constantly rolling out. But they don't run a system when he rolls out of the pocket and it gives him a better chance to see the field. They ask him to sit back in the pocket. Your offensive line is 6'6", 6'5". When I played football, I played all types of positions. I played running back, I played receiver, and I played quarterback. And one of the hardest things to do, and for me as a 5'11" quarterback, even though I was outstanding in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But it was very hard for me to see over 6'6", 6'7", 6'5", 6'4". It's very hard to do that. These are buildings moving in front of you. And if you have a system where you got to sit back to pass, having a strong arm is not the cure. A quarterback needs to see what the hell or where he's throwing to. And I believe Shedeur is the better choice. But he should at least have the decency to be at least named the backup. It's just a lazy narrative that, oh, nah, they got to put another system and let him get a full week. Why they can't do this in the same week, bro? It's reps. It's the NFL. Like, it's the same game they've been playing forever. Elementary school, Pop Warner, high school, college. Lazy narrative. Lazy narrative. Let me check out the chat. Chat been going in, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Solo Slim in the building. One of our badge holders, one of our day ones. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. What's good just tapping in. My Saints got them Giants. That's a fact. That's a fact. My pick 6 is in, and I was wrong about that game. Giants are definitely pretenders. Shout out to Gilly in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. You hit me with the weird comment, but appreciate you nonetheless. Please don't troll. This is not the type of show to troll. You know what I'm saying? Show love. Show love. Don't be a stain trying to stand out by saying weird stuff, trying to be funny. Show love. You know what I'm saying? You stand out better by showing love, bro. Trust me. So with all this talking, who you got going to the bowl? For the Super Bowl, it's still unclear. It's still unclear. I can't give you that answer. But I got pick 6 though. I got the picks on who's going to win this week, college and the NFL. But it's too early to say who's going to the Super Bowl because this is the point of the season where we learn who is contenders and who are the pretenders. Off the rip for me, Chargers, Giants. It's another team I'm missing right now. Chargers, Giants. And I'm going to say New England. Pretenders. All 3 of those teams are pretenders. All of them. All 3 are pretenders. You're going to see New England win some games. But, yeah, nah. Pretenders. I wouldn't be surprised just based on the injuries in that conference right now. I could see a world where New England makes the last playoff spot. And that's only because Lamar's hurt. I just spoke on him on Cincinnati. Their quarterback is hurt, even though they get in Joe Flacco. Pretenders. Bro, slow. on the bro. It can be. Shout out to Greg in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Uncle Joe in the building. Baker Mayfield is strong. Solid player. The jury's still out on Tampa Bay. The jury's still out on Tampa Bay. And it's going to come down to Baker Mayfield. It's going to come down to Baker Mayfield. Me personally, I think Tampa Bay overall have a better team, get this y'all, than the Eagles. I do. And the reason why I say that is because they can match the Eagles in their trench play. The Eagles can't bully their O-line or their D-line play. The Bucks have probably the biggest defensive line in the world. Oh my God. Between Vita Vea and the other kid, we're talking about 350 apiece. Like, where are you going, bro? On first or second down, where are you going? So they have the players to beat the Eagles. And the Eagles are very beatable this year. And they could have beat the Eagles, but Baker threw that last second interception. So, but the jury's still out. The jury's still out, and it's going to be on Baker. He had a great. He's been having a good season. He's been having a good season. This is probably Baker Mayfield's best season thus far in these first 4 games that they played so far. So again, the jury's still out on the Buccaneers. Who is Dylan Gabriel? You know who Dylan Gabriel is, man. Stop playing Uncle Joe. Sanders should start, to be honest. I agree with you, Solo. I agree with you. He should be starting. The people want him to start. Like, I haven't, like, honestly, I've never seen the culture stand for a player like we're doing with Shador. And we've had some beloved players in the past. Deion Sanders himself as a corner. We root for Deion Sanders, right? We rooted for Jerry Rice. We rooted for Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Derek Thomas, Lawrence Taylor. But at the quarterback position, the last time I seen the culture root for a quarterback from the culture was Michael Vick. That's the last time I seen the culture root for a quarterback from the culture was Michael Vick. That's the last time. And mind you, since Michael Vick, we've had some great quarterbacks. We root for Pat Mahomes, and that's my team. I'm Chiefs all day, baby. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes is my guy. Lamar Jackson is my guy. But Patrick Mahomes is my guy. You feel what I'm saying? We root for Lamar Jackson. We root for, all the other quarterbacks that came in between, right? We root for them. But the culture has a vested interest in seeing Shador be what he set out to be because he's proved it on every level. On every level, he's been a winner. Every single level. High school, college, and now the NFL. Now people say, well, what did he win in college? He helped turn the program around. He helped. Both programs he went to was losing programs before he got there. Go to Colorado, he not going to have the same success in Colorado. He not only had the same success, he outdid what he did at Jackson State at Colorado. He got 4 receivers drafted from Colorado. 4. That's a lot. When's the last time you heard 4 receivers get drafted from the same team? Or three got drafted and 1 signed on to another team? The last time you heard of that? Not from a team that's used to losing for the last 20-some years. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Did he win championships? No. But you can't tell me if Shador, instead of rolling out with his pops, because what type of player would he be if he didn't go with his pops, right? But Shador could have easily started for Ohio State last year over their quarterback. He could have easily started in Michigan with the craziness that was going on in the Michigan room, the quarterback room last year. Michigan, all we was missing was a quarterback last year. And we went 8-5 and beat Alabama, beat Ohio State. So imagine if we had Shador. What? Imagine if Shador, I would have hated if Shador would have been on Ohio State. I can't stand Ohio State. Then the conversation would be different. He would be a champion. So, you know, you got to give credit where credit is due. Got to give credit where credit is due. But you know, that's why I say that. Do you think the Commanders have a chance to win the Super Bowl? Not this year. I think they have a chance to go far. I think they have a chance to go far. Right now, they're figuring their team out, even though they have the foundation of their team. Daniels is it. Daniels is it. And because he's it, the team believes. And once they're in the playoff, all they got to do is beat one team to make it interesting. And last year they did that. Last year they did that. I feel that they could beat, I won't say any team, but they could beat 98% of those teams in any playoff game. Or any playoff game this year. Next year, I believe they take the next step, though. Because Daniels is that electric. Daniels is electric. And anytime, if you see the history of the league, regardless if you believe me or not, when you look at the history of the league, when an organization have a quarterback that they believe in, it's all in. And Jaden Daniels plays basically almost perfect quarterbacking. He's on pace with his passing. He runs when he needs to run. He's fast and quick. He doesn't try to take on big hits. He getting out of bounds. He's gonna shake you or whatever the case may be. He plays very smart football. I'm just saying, if their defense plays how they supposed to, they're gonna make a deep run in the playoff again. They made a deep playoff run last year. They'll make another one if it comes together the way it's supposed to. But they're gonna continue to get better and better. That's a fact. J.D. Daniels is from my home city, San Bernardino. Okay. So that makes sense how he ended up at Arizona State. So that makes sense. Okay, shout out to Jay in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. The whack. I appreciate a good joke, man, but that joke was cheese, bro. Shout out to Born. Born 2, appreciate that. Stephen A. Cousin, yeah, he can never. But you know, it is what it is. I take that as some sort of, I guess some sort of compliment, you know, in the sense of me knowing my shit. But we don't look alike. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. YouTube is now paying $10,000 per month to start faceless YouTube channels. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to D in the building. Who's better, Stroud or Jaden? Jaden right now. He's better. Right now, yeah, he's better. Stroud have regressed a little bit, but Jaden is better. Absolutely Born to, absolutely. Xavier, I see it. Can't you see it? Appreciate you, Xavier. I like D. Higgins. I agree. Okay, yeah. So he's definitely better at this point in time. But yeah, and like I said, his running ability, Daniel's running ability, is so underrated, and that shit matters. He can really run. Like you've seen oh my God, Lawrence against us, the Chiefs. He was using his legs to get him out, and I was screaming at the television, Spags, blitz to stone. And what some people don't understand in the NFL, when you blitz to stone, you show blitz, but you don't actually blitz. You stone the offensive line. And with him in particular, if you let him sit in the pocket, he's going to throw a big fat pick. But if you let Lawrence use his legs, he's fast. He know how to use them, and he gave us a whole lot of trouble with them damn legs. But if we would have stoned that wall like we were supposed to, every single time, damn near picks every single time. The one play, Travis Hunter bailed him out in catching that pass over one of our defenders. So, you know what I mean? Jaden is clutch too. So y'all know I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But again, y'all, YouTube is now paying $10K per month to start a faceless YouTube channel. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I think this is super cap. I think this is super cap. I'm not saying that you can't run a faceless YouTube. I'm not saying that it can't be successful, but is YouTube really paying $10K a month for a successful faceless YouTube? I just seen something a month ago where they saying that they're going to crack down on that, where they're not going to allow content creators to create faceless channels and to benefit by making those type of residuals and those monies. So how can just a month ago they say one thing and now they saying this? Which one is it? Because they not going to reward channels that's not going to have a face on the channel when it's just basically AI generated. So like, which one is it? So I call cap on this one. I call cap on this one. I don't believe YouTube, honestly, when they say this. Like, I don't. Because again, maybe a month ago they just made that same announcement saying that they wouldn't reward people that have faceless accounts. So again, I think this is super cap. I think this is super cap. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. This is a statement, and let me know if y'all agree with it or not. People self-sabotage in their way to manage expectations. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the statement is people self-sabotage in their way to manage their expectation. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I think this is an absolute fact. We see it every day, just in communication, right? When somebody say, yeah, bro, you should have did this, bro, you should have did that, bro. And the person that they telling it to is in position. But the only reason why most people would do this is they're managing their expectation out of fear. And it's like, where do you get that fear from? Like, my biggest fear for me is fear of failure. But it's not in the fact of me actually like failing, because when you're in any business structure, any entertainment structure, you're going to fail. So that's not the fear of failing that I'm talking about. The fear of failing that I'm talking about is not putting belt to ass in your talent, not putting belt to ass in making sure that it's even being seen. It's packing it up. It's getting the first negative comment. It's getting the first negative thing that somebody could tell you, and you packing it up. I grew up as an athlete. I started off boxing, football, basketball, all through my life. And all the sports that I played, I feel like it always came easy, right? But coaches, they held me to a high esteem. It wasn't always positive. It wasn't always go Ash. It was, yo, Ash, what are you doing? You need to do this. But coach, I just did this. Yo, you need to do this and that. So again, when things is not going your way, you learn how to deal with adversity. So my fear of failing is the fact that I don't even try. I let somebody's negative comment, negative words impact me. Never. You know what I've been through in my life? You know how hard I work to have skill, to have expertise in the things that I do, to let a negative comment get me out of shape, what I make a living from? No, sir, Bob. No way. And that was one of the things I wish I could have told myself in my early teenage years, when you get around other guys and they say negative things to you, mainly out of their own fear, or sometimes, yo, you need to improve, but it came out of a place of fear instead of out of a place of love, because the type of backlash and energy that comes with it, right? It wasn't like heart to heart type of thing, right? In my best interest type of thing, right? And I wish I could have told myself, like, yo, it don't matter what they say. It's matter what you say, what you think, and the type of work you put in. And as I really adopted that mentality in my late teenage years, early 20s, I felt unstoppable. I felt unstoppable. And there was times where throughout my journey that people would say, I can't do this and I can't do that. Really? Really? Oh, you're not going to be this or you're not going to be that because you're a young father. I had my daughter at a young age. Oh yeah, you're not going to be, you're a dad. You're not even out of high school yet. You're a father. Like, what type of life you going to have for yourself? She's not going to be successful. Who? My daughter graduated high school in 3 years. In college right now. Killing. Doing the damn thing. 3.0 GPA. In high school, she graduated with like a 4.1 GPA. Huh? What? Huh? Phil? Nah. That's not the failure I'm talking about. Hell no. So I don't let nobody dictate my future on where I'm going. And for those of you out there, you don't let nobody else dictate your future either. No matter how bad you feel like you really could do something, but this person's words you allow to affect you in a negative way. To manage your expectation and theirs. And they mask it with love. Like, yo, I'm just looking out for you. Like, and they don't want to see you take the next step out of their fear. If you got something in your heart that you could give to the world, that you could show improve, you could show to yourself, you could show your family. Do that shit. Don't let nobody stop you. For those who did not make you, they cannot break you. There's only one person that could break me down to my knees, and that's the Lord above. I tell you that, no lie. I really believe that, and I got that information from these people in my back. This is why I got pictures of my mom and my dad. This is why I got pictures of my brother. Because these are the people that loved on me enough to put that type of energy in me. Unstoppable. And some guys that's out there, y'all really understand what I'm talking about in all aspects, because with men in the world and with women, but with men, and the reason why it's more prevalent with men than women is because we have no safety blanket once we become men. If we don't produce, we die. It's just that simple. And I don't mean to make it sound morbid or nasty, but it's the fact, we die if we don't produce. Nobody cares about grown men not producing in the world. We can't go home. Mom and dad ain't going to be sympathetic to our situation. That's why it's not necessarily a man-woman thing, but about men in itself. We have to learn how to produce. And the biggest and the best way that we could produce is not letting other people being able to manage and dictate your emotions based on their fear. I'm just saying, man. Shout out to Solo Slim. Yeah, true. High expectations, right? It's all about what you say about to yourself. You right. Facts, 100%. Trying to tell y'all, man, don't let other people try to break you down, because they can't. It's all a mind thing, yo. It's all a mind thing. And once you figure that out, like, and it's easy to see. You watched the movie before, and in the movie you see some of the bullies trying to bully this person. Like, yo, why did he just don't stand up to the bullies? The bullies is kind of ass. They not that tough. Like in real life, I'll smack the hell out of all of them, or I could stun on. Like, so in our real world, if we adopt that mentality to the our so-called bullies, whether it's in the corporate space, financial space, just adopt that same methodology, and I'm telling you, it's going to change and make a difference. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Shout out. I have to give a quick shout out to former NFL player Deshaun Jackson, now the head coach of Delaware State University. He's been doing his thing, and they have won more games this year than they've won in the last 2 years combined. So a quick shout out to Deshaun Jackson, former NFL great receiver, had a lot of great years with the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving on to our next hot topic, YouTube reaches a $24 million settlement over 2021 suspension of President Trump's account. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, YouTube reaches a $24 million settlement over a 2021 suspension of President Trump's YouTube account. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. This in itself, I'm not surprised. It's crazy because Donald Trump always finds a way to get some bread. He always finds a way to get some bread. And I have to respect the hell out of that, to be honest with you, because the more you know, the more you can do. That's all it is. Is if the information is right in the fine print, and it will be an asset that we learn these rules. The rules that he has applies, like, he's not sitting around reading this shit. But his team is. So you either going to get you a dope team and we could take over the world, or you're going to have to sit and read through the different things that you are a part of, so that way when they play with you, they know not to play with you. See what I'm saying? So, again, I'm not surprised at this. He just finds a way to do this every single time. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Ayesha Curry, wife of NFL great Steph Curry, had made some comments about on a podcast recently about her not necessarily wanting kids, wanting to get married, and seeing the life that she has playing out the way that it has. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Ebony in the building. I know too many people that do things. He always a way to make. Yeah, it is truly an art. That's a fact. That's a fact about Donald Trump. It is truly an art. Making money is an art. It's not something that most people even understand. Most people that make money think that we're supposed to spend it on things that we spend it on. No, money is supposed to be made to make more money. And that's a whole nother conversation I'm going to save on another podcast episode. But Donald Trump knows that. So that's why he's always up on it. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you think of the comments that Ayesha Curry made, I have to say this because I really wasn't going to speak on this. And I have the audio to play. Maybe I'll play the audio for y'all real quick and see how that comes out. See if I could get this audio playing.
Didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl, and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals, and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. Did you talk to Steph about it? He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. Oh, after we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1,
Okay.
I remember there being a shift and being like,
Okay. So y'all get the gist of where she was going with that, based on those comments. My thing is this, right? She has a right to feel any way she want to feel. And shout out to Del Boy in the building. Appreciate that. Appreciate the compliment, my brother. But I understand she has the right to feel the way that she feels, right? But my thing is this. The things that she say, it's an embarrassment to him when it's in public. We don't need to know this. We don't need to know this. This is something you might share with your family, close relatives and friends, and they will give you a better outlook and perspective on where you're at right now in your life. But as a public, we don't need this. You're married to one of the most successful players in our generation. You're married to a guy who's changed and revolutionized basketball in the way that he shoots. He's going to be considered the best shooter ever to play the game. So why make this a point of contention where you have to share with the world? We don't need to know this shit. We don't. Spare him the embarrassment. When he wasn't the guy that you wanted for real. And it goes on to, speak in that realm where, like, he wasn't the guy that she wanted at first. And she didn't see her life being the way. But it is. You hit the lottery. What are we talking about? You have a guy we've never heard Steph Curry get into any trouble. Any brawls, no drugging, no extramarital affairs, no escapades from anywhere. And if he does, at least he respects you enough to cheat in peace. All due respect, I don't believe that to be true, but I don't know him personally. But the world doesn't know it either. So why then go disrespect him by saying all this? Again, you have the right to feel this way, and you have the right to share this in a safe space with your friends and your family that would care for you to speak on it and give you perspective that y'all could build on together. Y'all marriage is not between y'all two and the rest of the world. Y'all marriage is between Aisha and Steph. So if you feel a type of way, that's something that shouldn't even leave y'all bedroom. So that's why I feel like it's so disrespectful on so many levels that she would even share that. And now when you share that, other women hear that and be like, oh, there's chinks in the armor. There's cracks over there. Let me see if I can slither my way in. And of course, it takes two. It would take stuff to break or not to, show improve regarding that. But at the end of the day, why put that out? We don't need to know this shit. Like, what are you doing? And even say it in a context where it matters. Saying in an open forum on a podcast, it just leads to more speculation. You're not speaking on anything that's kind of like book related and how wonderful and how much better your life ended up, opposed to this is not the life that you've seen for yourself. Like you missed out on other things. Like you missed out on having a hot girl summer. Like you missed out just being able to be with another guy who, or in a sense where you're getting more attention from other men. This is embarrassing. And again, it's mainly because she's sharing it with the world instead of keeping it in her bedroom with the person that matters, that should matters the most to her, which is her husband, because she hit the lottery. So I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to just end it right there. Young fella, shots, lights out. Appreciate you, Dan, for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, my dude. Appreciate you. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic, college football picks is in. College football picks is in. My pick six is in for this Wednesday episode. All right, so this Saturday, first game I'm calling number 24. And then last week, I went 6-0 last week. I'm just saying, for my college football picks, I went 6-0. I just had to say that. And that's the second 6-0 since I had all season. And this is the fifth year. This is the 6th week of the season. I went 6-0 twice. So two out of the 5 times, feel me? So if you're trying to win you some money, if you got a parlay, if you want to use one of my games, just saying, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for nothing back. You know what I'm saying? But all right, anyway. First game I'm calling, number 24, South Florida versus North Texas. Automatically, people are going to say South Florida. South Florida been balling out. They've been playing. South Florida has looked the absolute best in a long time. They have a really good team. But this North Texas game is not going to be a cakewalk in my estimation. North Texas is undefeated. North Texas been wearing people the hell out. They've been wearing people the hell out. And North Texas is playing this game at home. If South Florida don't come to play at their best, North Texas will beat them. I guarantee it. But I'm going with South Florida to win this game because I feel like they have something to play for. And if they win this game, that gives them a real shot to be able to play in the college football playoffs moving forward. And USF is in the American League, and it's almost impossible for an American League team to go to the college football playoffs. So they need this game. Second game I'm calling, number 6, Alabama versus number 14, Missouri. This game is a recipe for an upset by Missouri. But I'm going with Alabama. Roll Tide. I'm going with them. Ty Simpson, and I said this when they had the loss to Florida State. The way he plays quarterback is outstanding. He jumps off the film to me. And he's going to make this game a highlight and a staple game to his NFL tape, in my opinion. He's looked really good thus far in each and every game. And I think they're going to go to Missouri and show up and show out. Even though I think Missouri is going to play hard, but I think Alabama's going to win this game. Next game I'm calling, number 1, Ohio versus number 17, Illinois. A recipe for an upset. Not so much, no. I'm capping. Ohio gonna win this game. They're gonna win this game. Ohio's gonna win this game. Now, Illinois is going to run the ball. If they try to play fast ball with Ohio State, that game is going to be over by halftime. But if they run the ball and establish the run, if they keep it a 1-score game, they have a chance to close the gap and win it at the end. Ohio's still going to win that game. All right, moving on to our next one. I got number 7, Indiana, playing number 3, Oregon. I want to go with Indiana. Indiana is such a good team. They such a good team, but Oregon is the better team. They are the better team, and I got Oregon winning this game. And they're more consistent as well. Next game I'm calling, Washington State versus number 4, Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss winning this game. I think this game is going to get real ugly, real nasty. I'm talking about 44-18, 44-24. This game is going to get nasty. This game is going to get nasty, in my opinion. And this week, and this game alone, if Ole Miss plays down to the competition, mind you, Ole Miss is number 4 in the country. If they play down to Washington State, it lets you know, lets me know, let the whole world know that they're pretenders. Because they just upset, I forget who they just upset recently. I believe it was, I forget who they upset. But they LSU. They upset at LSU recently. And if they don't play the way they're supposed to play against Washington State, they are true pretenders. I move my last my pick 6 game for college football. I got South Carolina versus number 11 LSU. South Carolina will probably play the best football of their season in this game. But I'm going with LSU. Playing in Death Valley. I know they lost to Ole Miss, but they lost to Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Going into Death Valley, beating LSU. LSU gonna win this game. So that's my pick 6 for this week, college football. I got my pick 6 for the NFL this week as well too. Last week we had some hiccups. It was 2-4. It wasn't that great. My Chiefs lost. The bum ass Cardinals let the Titans kick a last minute field goal. I mean, it was like, well, like teams that won wasn't supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I mean, these games are hard to call anyway. So when I say I went 6-0, that's not an easy thing to do. If you win 2 out of 4, but again, these are not easy games to call, and it's the NFL. So first game I'm calling Broncos versus the Jets. I think the Jets is going to play very inspired football. They've been losing all year. Aaron Glenn, I believe his coaching life is on the line as far as a head coach. I would not be surprised if the Jets won this game, but I'm going with the Broncos. The way the Broncos could generate pressure just from their front four. Just with their front four. They could generate it with the 5, but they better with the front 4. And they could play in the pass, and they could focus on Fields by him doing that. And if you have a great pass rush, this disrupts Fields' running lanes. So I got the Broncos. The Broncos look good. Next game I'm calling is the Cowboys versus the Panthers. I would not be surprised if the Panthers upset in this game, because the Cowboys is going to do cowboy things. They're going to look outstanding one week and look like hot garbage the next week. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys. I think what they did last week could be a confidence booster. But we will see. But I'm going with the Cowboys. Third game I'm calling Patriots versus the Saints. I said the Patriots are pretenders. The Patriots could easily lose this game. Easily. The Saints are not good. So that lets you know, because the Patriots look good one week, and the next week it's like, who's that? That's not the same team. I'm still going with the Patriots. Still going with the Patriots. But they are pretenders, but I'm still going with the Patriots to win this game. We got Colts versus the Cardinals. Colts going to win this game. They're going to win this game. They probably won't beat the dog snot out of the Cardinals, but the Colts going to win this game probably 28-20. They got this game. They just a better overall team, offensively, defensively. And the Cardinals, their offense is so ridiculously undisciplined. They're undisciplined. And it starts from the head man. They're undisciplined. Their defense is solid, but their offense is undisciplined. So I'm going with the Colts in that game. Next game I'm calling Bengals versus the Packers. Bengals got Joe Flacco, but I don't think we're going to see him this Sunday. I think we'll see him the next Sunday. So I got the Packers winning this game. I think this game might get a little ugly. Matter of fact, let me not say that, because Jordan Love, he slings that ball. So he might throw a pick in this game, but Packers should win this game. I would say 28-10 in this game. Then the Lions and Chiefs. I got my Chiefs. We need this game. The way we lost to the Jaguars, we showed no discipline towards the end of the game, and that's not us. We've been showing lack of discipline throughout the year, and that goes to the reason why we lost some of the games that we lost. Attention to detail. And we lost by plays, not by games. We lost by plays. A play here, a play there, not being focused here, we lose the game. So at the end of the day, We need this game. And the Lions is coming to us. Yeah, we got this. We got this. This game will probably end up about 28-24 or 27-24. I got my Chiefs. So my pick six for the NFL this week, I got the Broncos beating the Jets. I have the Cowboys beating the Panthers. I have the Patriots beating the Saints. I have the Colts beating Cardinals. I say that with my chest. I got the Packers beating the Bengals. Also say that with my chest. And I got the Chiefs beating the Lions. And I say that with my heart because we need this game. And for the my pick six college football, I got, again, South Florida beating North Texas. I got Alabama beating Missouri. I got Ohio State beating Illinois. I got Oregon beating Indiana. I have Ole Miss beating Washington State. And I have LSU beating South Carolina. So that's my pick six for college football and the NFL. Moving on to our next segment. A shout out to Dan in the building. Shout out to Elijah in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my brother. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Should they try, charge, and grabs? Appreciate you tapping in, my guy. All right, so moving on to my next segment, my Keep the Lie Alive segment. So my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode is it's very simple, and I kind of spoke about it a little earlier about not letting people fears being able to manage you based on their fears, based on them managing their own emotions by self-sabotaging, right? The opposite of that is having ambition. So my Keep the Lie Alive is ambition is so contagious that it builds a world, not just a life, a world. Ambition could really build the world that you design. The car that you wanted, the type of house that you live in, or home that you live in, the type of love, respect, and energy, adulation that you get from other people. All this is dictated by ambition. And if you have that ambition, it's contagious, and nobody can say or do anything about it once it's lit. Only you can let that stop. So that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode is ambition is contagious. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in each and every Wednesday and every Sunday at 10:30. Y'all been absolutely amazing. I'm looking at y'all all in the chat showing major love. And again, I thank you. Again, it's the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Again, we're on every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers, and we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and we are a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week, and there's also membership portions in our page. So take advantage of the memberships because different memberships do get granted different access. So make sure y'all tap in. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snap. So you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. I also want to thank our other sponsor, OUV Records, where you get dope and fire music. Make sure you tap into also the merchandise. You get 10% off on all merchandise if you go to 44.com. If you use the promo code BrothersPod. Again, if you use the promo code BrothersPod, you can get 10% off in the 44.com in our store on all merchandise. So continue to show support and grab those merchandise. We got fire t-shirts and hats, book bags, socks. Like, we got some fire. So make sure y'all continue to show support and tap in. Also, if you're interested in becoming one of the new sponsors of the show, one of the new sponsors of the show, you can tap into me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Again, at Ashley Lovechild on Instagram if you want to become one of the new sponsors on the show. If you got a product or music that you want to promote, holla at me on Instagram and we could do some, some business. You know what I'm saying? Also, I want to thank all of y'all for supporting the pod. Again, this is the 201 episode. Major accomplishment. A lot of podcasts can't say they got 201 episodes. So again, thank you. Make sure you tap into the shorts and the videos of this podcast. I got over 500 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel. So make sure y'all tap in. And you could join the post community. There's a lot of posts on the channel as well. So make sure y'all tap into that and engage like y'all been doing. And man, y'all been super duper amazing, man. And again, I'm waiting on 2 more people to send me their information because they won some giveaways. I got the one person's information. I'm waiting on the last 2 people their information to get your giveaways to you. Remember to send your name, full name, address, and also because I remember the people that I called at random to get some merch. So make sure y'all tap in. Yeah, man. It's been fire, man. It's been fire. We're working on a new event that's going to be popping up, so look out for those announcements as well. Have new music on the way, and I'm also working on a new comic strip. It's absolutely fire. I can't wait to really divulge and share it with y'all, and that's going to be absolutely special. And again, thank y'all for y'all support. Y'all already know, man, it's super always big mojo love. And again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. It's love all day, man. I'm going to see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. I'm out.